Hey, it's me, MLB. Here's Torn Down the Middle, Chapter 49, and this one is titled The Play, Act 2. This is bullcrap, Bakugo seethed in the back room. Bro, calm down, Kirishima said sympathetically with his hands raised in front of him, palms towards Bakugo to show passive support. Poor Kirishima had been commissioned to hold Bakugo at bay in the back room, and had been doing a pretty good job at it in all honesty, but Bakugo was getting more and more upset as time went on. Calm down? I don't need to calm down. I need to be out there with Yin, Bakugo growled lowly. Bro, she was having an anxiety attack. This was necessary for the play to go ahead, Kirishima said sadly. I need to make sure she's okay, Bakugo mumbled, looking down at the floor. That's so manly, bro, but I'm sure she's fine, Kirishima said, walking over and placing a hand on Bakugo's shoulder. You can check on her after the play is done. No, Bakugo snapped, his crimson eyes meeting Kirishima's. No. Screw them. I'm going in. Bro, come on. No, that's not manly at all, Kirishima pleaded. You can't just barge into the play like that. I'm supposed to be frickin' Romeo. My girl is up there with that half-and-half bastard. I'm getting her back, Bakugo growled, standing up and pushing past Kirishima. That's kind of manly, but still, Kirishima called as he chased Bakugo out the door. The play was going well, and you were ready for the introductory part with Romeo. Due to space and design, Momo had decided to put you in the tower for scene 5 so that Romeo could gaze up at you while the stage lights lit you up. Who doth she be, fair maiden that I see? Shoto said longingly as he stretched a hand up to point eloquently to where you were poised up in the tower. Your heart jumped. He had improvised the line, but it suited perfectly. Suddenly, a loud voice interjected. Prepare to die, Montague bastard! Shoto whipped around to see Bakugo entering the stage. He whipped his head back the other way to look at Kaminari, who had a huge grin on his face. Well, there appears to be another Romeo who's entered the scene, Kaminari narrated without skipping a beat. Die! Bakugo yelled as he ran towards Shoto with a plastic sword drawn. My apologies, audience. This Romeo is a bit rogue, and I cannot account for the words that are about to spill forth with much passion, Kaminari said apologetically. Some of the audience laughed and cheered. Shoto, seeing Bakugo coming at him with a sword, immediately reverted to fight mode and activated his ice quirk, shooting a rivulet of ice at the irate blonde. Oh yeah, get to use quirks! Bakugo hollered with excitement, tossing the sword aside as he jumped out of the way of Shoto's attack. You saw Bakugo curl his fingers and release a few test explosions into the palm of his hand as his smirk grew. Katsuki, no! You yelled, but it was no use. He had target fixation on Shoto, and nothing else mattered at that point. The rogue Romeo plans on taking down Romeo Montague for the hand of Juliet, Kaminari cried with dramatic enthusiasm. Fight me for an icy hot extra, Bakugo snarled lowly with a growl as he threw his arm back and detonated an explosion, shooting towards Shoto at lightning speed. The crowd erupted into cheering and whistling, and Shoto ducked and rolled out of the path of Bakugo's attack, slamming his right hand down onto the ground and freezing the stage. You gasped and covered your face. This definitely wasn't going to plan, but the audience was well and truly involved by now, and their shrieks of delight were almost deafening. Bakugo landed feet first on the ice and slipped slightly before running back towards Shoto, who was up on his feet again and ready for the next attack. Bakugo took a big right-arm swing at Shoto, who raised his right hand to freeze Bakugo's move mid-air, but unfortunately Bakugo saw his move at the last minute and withheld the punch, opting to throw a low explosion from his left hand at Shoto's side, sending the dual hair-coloured heartthrob flying across the stage. Romeo, art thou okay, Romeo? You hollered, trying to keep in character a little. Shoto flipped mid-air and dug his shoes into the stage on impact, throwing a hand behind him to create a small wall of ice that he could launch from. Fair Juliet, for thine hand I fight, Shoto said lowly with his head bowed as he came to a stop. His response was quiet, but loud enough for the stage mic nearby to pick it up, and the girls in the crowd screamed their approval. Bakugo spat. Come at me, damn half and half. I'll put you in your place. Rogue Romeo, that's not very Shakespearean of you, Kaminari chided gallantly. Use your lines! This shall determine that, Bakugo growled lowly, remembering his line perfectly from the fight scene between Romeo and Tybalt. Shoto charged at Bakugo, aiming to grab his arm and freeze him, but Bakugo used his quirk to dodge and elbowed Shoto as the lithe hero in training skidded past. Bakugou looked up at the light bar above the stage and had an idea, so he threw his arms behind him and detonated an explosion big enough to propel himself up there, grabbing onto the bar as he swung his legs up and over it. "Oh, what's this?" Kaminari gasped. Some of the girls started cheering for Bakugou. Shoto spun and was about to shoot ice when Bakugou dropped down head first. You screamed and braced for impact, your eyes squeezing shut. Shoto raised his right arm as Bakugou screamed, "Die!" Bakugou's right palm glowing as he fell rapidly, a massive explosion building. The blonde timed his arm movements with his fall, his arm becoming outstretched as he almost met Shoto, and their right hands collided. There was an almighty thunder crack of an explosion, and powdered snow erupted across the stage and into the auditorium, covering everyone present. There were screams of confusion. Then as people opened their eyes and realised it was a sort of man-made snow, they cheered and clapped. Everyone on stage and backstage was shocked. Kirishima raced on stage quickly and grabbed Bakugou, who had been flung back by the impact, dragging him to the side as quickly as he could. Utter chaos, if you ask me. Stay tuned for Chapter 50 coming tomorrow.